My name is Justin Mink, certified Outgrow advisor, and I want to introduce my client and good friend, Matt Rathgeb.
My name is Matt Rathgeb, and I'm the proud founder of Groovy Hues Painting, also the owner of the Philadelphia location.
Tell me a little bit about what was going on with your customer-facing and sales team before Outgrow. Like what problems were you having?
Spending a lot of money and not getting a lot of high-quality return on those leads. Mostly those things are, if you're dealing with a third-party lead aggregator, they're sending that lead to 5 other contractors. You're going out there, it's kind of a race to the bottom.
So it sounds like you were reactive.
We were absolutely reactive,
Yeah.
kind of not in control whatsoever, which gave me constant anxiety as an owner.
Tell me what behaviors were missing from the team, from your sales team, your customer-facing team.
Really, they were in a state of reaction as well. So
Okay.
we weren't really proactive, and that starts with me. They weren't doing anything wrong. They were just following my lead because, as mentioned, I knew subconsciously and consciously at that time that we knew where a client was, and we were, how do we find those clients?
Yeah.
We weren't finding those clients the way we wanted to for those outlets that I had mentioned.
How long have you been in business?
16 years.
And how many customers have you had over the life?
Over 10,000.
Over 10,000. And you've got how many 5-star reviews on Google now?
Between the 3 G&Bs, we're well over 1,000.
And a 5-star average, right? 4.9?
Knock on wood.
5 stars?
5. Yep.
I mean, so you're sitting on a mountain of like goodwill, relationships,
Yep.
great work, great service you provided in this community for almost 2 decades.
It was like you knew if you made Mrs. Jones happy, you had the lawn sign, the lawn. We had calls for job anniversaries, 6 months, a year, just a little touch here and there. You kind of knew that when the opportunity came for more work, they would call you back or they would refer you. But again, we didn't realize how in control we were of that.
So why did you end up going with Outgrow versus some other sales framework, sales system?
The biggest attraction to me was the idea that I extracted from that was Outgrow put you in control. The advances of technology in home services, there's always this new CRM and everyone's pitching all these ideas.
Yeah,
And
there's a
there's a
million
lot of
things.
noise.
Yeah.
There's a lot of noise and everything looks like it's that next shiny object. And I just wasn't, I was looking beyond the surface thinking like, you know what, we know who our client is. We have identified who our client is. We've identified where that client is. Why aren't we approaching them, or how do we find them? How do we approach them in a systematic fashion? And as simple as Outgrow has become, I just really couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. Do you remember the moment when we were first talking about Outgrow where you were kind of clicked and you said, okay, this is going to work for us?
As soon as I read a little bit of the book, and we've had a few discussions, and like I said, it was like, look, this is on you. Your destiny, your success is in your own hands. And I thought, you know what, I like that. I just need a template. I need a little bit of a guide on how to go about that. But that's exactly what we wanted to do. So it just clicked. We signed up.
Cool.
And that was that.
Do you remember the early weeks? What did like the first few weeks, couple months of Outgrow look like, feel like?
I think it was a little bit of a culture shock because it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I remember like our first meeting, which I think coincidentally was in this room.
Yep.
We were like, all right, let's write down 5 people that you did a great job for, loved you. And, easily, everyone grabs a pen and can easily think of 5. And then you're like, all right, now we're going to call them. And we were like, all right, like now? Like we're going to call them now? Like, yeah, everyone like get out, spread out, go find a private space. Here's the template. And some of those calls generated in the estimates right off the bat.
Yeah.
And even, some people don't answer, as you know. We have a system for that as well. But the ones that did, just blown away to hear from us. Hey, Mrs. Smith, how you been? We haven't talked in a while. And just to start that conversation, like really people are not doing that anymore. As common sense as that was in sales back in the day, because of automations and because of technology, I really felt like that human element was being lost.
It's funny, we were talking about this last night that with all the AI and automation out there, like the only thing people can trust is real is a human conversation now.
Right. And on a personal level, because we have a positive culture here, we have great people that work here. We're always positive. We really noticed in time that like that conversation that you're having with that client or that potential client might have been the most positive interaction they had all week.
Right.
Right.
And we have this fear that we're going to be bothering people. They don't want to hear from us. And because of how awesome you guys are, the appreciation, the impact that you make in the homes, the day-to-day lives, personal lives of your customers, they're happy to hear from you for the most part, right?
Still have yet to have one person hang up on us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just wait, it'll happen.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
If it does, it's okay.
That's
it's
right.
the same thing as getting a no. It's okay.
Yeah.
We're not taking it personal.
What was the first sign where the team was like, okay, this is working?
Well, we started to see some fruits of it, obviously.
Sure.
Like, first the culture changed because it became more proactive. Like, it wasn't, we're sitting on the scorecard at our meeting saying, like, how many leads we get from Google, how many we get from Angie's List, how many, what was the conversions, how many turned into appointments, how many turned into sales, what was the revenue. It was like that slowly was going away, and then the outgrow was kicking in. And I just felt like the energy, like we took matters in our own hands.
Yeah.
So it felt good because we knew, like, it took a little bit to buy in, but something clicked mentally. And, just to like put a little twist on it, around the holidays, we were thinking about a different approach because we were going through our list and our calls every week. I said, let's change it up. Like in between Thanksgiving and Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, and a New Year. We said, in between Thanksgiving and a New Year, let's call people and just wish them a happy holiday. Call people that we've done jobs for this year. There are many. We're just calling to say thank you. This is our best year ever. In 2025 was our best year ever. We just want to thank you for being a part of that. And everyone agreed that they felt like everyone felt grateful all month because we were constantly spreading gratitude. So when you talk about a culture change, I mean, in a small business, how much better can that get where everyone who works there is feeling grateful?
And that's one of the things that we talk about all the time is having real belief in the value that you bring into the lives of your customers. And equipped with that belief, feeling like it's not interrupting, it's not selling, it's not pushing, it's just being helpful and caring and being interested and present. And you guys really embrace that.
That was the biggest shift change.
Yeah.
Like, we're not looking to sell, we're looking to help. The best part about Outgrow, I mean, there's a million different things. My margins, our bottom line has went up.
That's awesome.
Because we're not blowing money on things, spraying and praying, throwing out money at these things, hoping it's going to work out, giving somebody else my money and putting my success in their hands. We're grabbing that bull by the horn ourselves.
Yeah, that's maybe my favorite part about the whole
Absolutely. So I stopped chasing top line. No, we have our top line goals with the EOS.
And you guys are growing top line.
We are growing. When I stopped concentrating on the revenue grew organically. But more importantly, as the revenue grew, the bottom line was growing as well.
Were there any surprises? Like, what was the thing that surprised you most about once Outgrow started to gain traction?
Not everyone's going to reach out to you and say, the windowsill's peeling from 3 years ago, but we have a 5-year warranty. They're just either not going to use you again. So some of those things were starting to show up. That was the biggest surprise because why didn't they just call? You know?
Yeah.
But I was happy about that because we got to rectify some issues, and then it made us better. We could look back and say, what products did we use on that job, so everything came to the
Did any of those result in new business or like coming back in?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, look, people hire people they trust. Right?
Yeah.
Someone's calling you and checking in on you from a job that you did.
Yeah.
During the warranty phase, you're going to trust them.
I've owned homes for most of my adult life. I can't think of one service provider who called in a warranty period to see how's it going.
My first business coach in 2017 said, Matt, like every other painting contractor in the world, I'm assuming you think you're the best. And I said, absolutely. Of course I am. Yeah, we're killing it, So I didn't know what I didn't know. And he would say to me, if your customer you did 5 years ago was looking to hire you today, how would they know you if you're not staying in front of them?
Yeah.
He says, what do you think they're doing? They're going to Google, just finding somebody else. They don't remember you. When you leave their house, you're out of their mind in like 2 weeks.
Yep.
So just to be able to stay in front of those clients consistently, and you become part of their lives.
Yeah.
What's new, Mrs. Jones? Samantha just graduated from college. Yeah, great. You're part of their lives.
Yeah.
So that's one of our things. Predictable, positive paint jobs, friends for life.
Anything else? Like, where's the business now compared to when we started working together?
A much better quality business.
Yeah.
Since we started, which actually I think was a year ago. Was it May last year?
Yeah, it was just over a year.
Up 15% from last year, and we went up 15% last year. So basically a 30% top line revenue, 7% bottom line increase.
Okay.
So that's a big swing.
Wow.
Major swing.
Yeah.
And just the quality of the business is so much better. So that was my goal. I wanted to slow down, following all the gurus and chasing revenue and saying, let's build a predictable system, an organic system where, like I said, who we are, what our niche is, and let the revenue follow us.
As an owner, a longtime owner and leader of the business, what has that predictability given you? Like having that kind of predictability, knowing how your actions will impact, what will come out on the other side of your behaviors.
For me as an owner, it gives me a lot more contentment. I mean, as an entrepreneur and as an owner, you're never really content, right? You know, that little knot in your stomach every morning, you're a natural discontent. But it's made me realize that I'm in control of my destiny. Like, you know, if these other lead sources that we still play around with some of them, but a lot of them have went away, which has been great. You know, if they're not providing, well, we need to double down maybe or outgrow. What can we do? Do we throw more money at something that's not giving us a return? Yeah. Why, but I can always pick up the phone and call the people that are on the customer list. I can always make a list of real estate brokerages in the area and start calling realtors and arranging lunch and learns and getting these people to know who we are.
What's it been like working together, working with me, you, your team? What's that experience been like?
It's been great, man. I got to say, like, you know, we're friends at this point, and that's our thing. Like, you know, just business is all about relationships, right? Like, you know, when we started working together, we knew right away, like, this guy isn't just our outgrow coach or guide or whatever you guys call yourself. What do you guys call yourself?
Outgrow advisors.
Outgrow advisors. You're part of the business. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just like a client is, it's all just one unison thing.
Oh, man, it's been an honor, too, to be
it's been great.
Like, just the way you guys move, breathe, how you care about your people, how you care about your customers. You do everything the right way. So this work can be uncomfortable. It's not glamorous. How do you personally, and how do you keep the team energized around being proactive? So
I don't run the outgrow meetings. Michelle does, our sales leader, and she's better at it than I would be, to be honest with you. And she's just naturally energetic. Like, she's, you know, they're following her lead, and she holds people accountable. Like, there's weeks where you say, did you make your 15 calls? No, I did 13. Whoa, why? Yeah. Like, how hard is it to make that extra call? And it's not a beatdown. It's like, when you think about how easy it is, like, if you can't make 3 calls a day, it doesn't take much time, you know? And it's really hard to measure specifically. It's not like make a phone call, sometimes leads surface immediately. A lot of times those people call you back a few months down the road. Right. But you can never say, if you hadn't made that call and got in front of them, they might not have been thinking about you. I would say that they would not have been. Yeah, it's interesting. The way I think about it is the odds of you getting somebody on the phone the minute they have an itch you could scratch is slim to none. But when you keep making deposits into that relational bank, when they do have a need, they think of you. They call you. They don't go back to the Google machine. They think of Groovy because you've been communicating with them. We've changed. So Outgrow itself, by itself, as a different entity, has changed the business. Yeah. But operationally, like, the outreach has changed everything we've done. We have a new operation system where Leah, our operator, when the job's done, she checks in with every client. So we're not reactive if there's an issue down the line. We're talking to clients every day at the end of the day proactively, making sure that things don't build up in time. So, you know, these ideas stem from the Outgrow. Yeah. If you were talking to another CEO owner who's on the fence, like we talked about, there's so many things out there. It can be a little overwhelming. But they're thinking about outgrowing on the fence. What would you tell that leader? Just jump in, man. Yeah. Just jump in. Like, jump at that threshold. Like, if you're even watching this, then you have some interest probably. Sure. Right? On some level. Like, just do it. If I look back, it's probably top 3, and we've only been working together a year, things that I've ever done for my business that have been beneficial. Because again, if you have the same culture or you have to take matters in your own hands, I mean, there's really nothing like it. So outgrow for me is, you know, let me take the matters in my own hands. We knew that we had the culture, the people, the energy, and we wanted to really grab those clients. Okay. Anything at all that we didn't cover that we should have talked about? Just to sum it all up, for us, it made us a proactive, we're a sales organization, just like every other organization, no matter what you do, right? It made us a proactive sales organization. It made us proactive operationally. Yeah. And, you know, it made us realize that, like, there's nothing out there, you know, there's things out there that are beneficial to your business, but no one's going to care like you care. When you take matters into your own hands, and the people, and we do the outgrow huddle, you know, are together every week, and there's no hiding, there's accountability. People are talking, and if you had a win that week, you want to get to the meeting and talk about it. You're excited to tell people, you know, how that phone call translated into revenue. Yeah. So no, it's been great.